My name is Elena, and today we'll be tapping on changing your pattern from expecting the worst to expecting the best. You can jump to this timestamp to start the tapping sequence right now. Let's take a minute to talk about catastrophizing. This is when we imagine the most unfavorable outcome in any situation. And then we decide that if this outcome were to happen, it would surely end up in a disaster. The combination of fear and low self-esteem causes us to imagine ourselves as being completely helpless in that situation. There is an underlying feeling of being incapable of handling any problem, and a limiting belief that ultimately all problems end in disaster. There's a subconscious program of not feeling safe. There's a pattern of blowing things out of proportion and believing irrational thoughts and always expecting the worst. If you're obsessed with expecting the worst, the good news is you have the power to reprogram this subconscious pattern. Today we'll be redirecting this nervous energy into feeling self-reliant and in control of your emotions. The beauty of tapping is how it significantly improves our mindset, starting by regulating the nervous system to calm stress in our body. It improves our emotional state and ultimately reprograms our subconscious beliefs and patterns. Today we'll be turning down the dial on helplessness and ramping up the dial on self-confidence. Taking full responsibility for your own well-being, we're going to start by tapping on the karate chop point. Just close your eyes and begin by thinking of a situation where your mind automatically jumped to a worst-case scenario. Just keep tapping and tune into what's happening on the inside. What thoughts are coming up? Where's your mind taking you when you think about the worst-case scenario? Just notice how all of your thoughts are pointed to expecting the worst. Now, all of our thoughts create an emotion, so just take a look inside and notice what kinds of feelings are coming up. You don't even need to put a label on these emotions, just notice them from the inside. We're just creating a safe space to pay attention and notice what happens in our mind and in our body when we're all caught up in catastrophizing. And notice how these feelings create a physical sensation in the body. Pay attention to where you're feeling all of this pent-up emotion. Notice where you're carrying all of the stress from imagining the worst-case scenario. Do you hold that tension and pressure in your neck and in your shoulders? Maybe you have a headache, or maybe your stomach is tied up in knots. Just close your eyes and keep tapping while you create a space to just pay attention and notice what is happening on the inside. We're not going to run away from these feelings. We're just going to notice them, becoming the observer. Now take a deep breath in and out. Now you can follow along with me as I tap through the points. So just tap where I'm tapping and repeat what I'm saying. We'll start tapping right where the eyebrow starts. Tapping gently, just repeat after me. I'm conditioned to expect the worst. The side of the eye on the bone. Maybe I learned this from my childhood. Under the eye on the bone. When I was young, I may have witnessed someone close to me with the same behavior. Under the nose. This taught me to believe that if I think the worst, I can prevent the worst. Above the chin. Or if the worst happens, I will already be emotionally prepared. Under the collarbone. I've practiced expecting the worst for a really long time. Side of the ribs. And now I can see that it does not bring me closer to what I desire. On the wrist point, In fact, it keeps me from living my best life. Okay, take another deep breath in. Back to the eyebrow. Letting go of feeling scared and feeling unsafe. When my imagination runs wild into doom and gloom. Letting go of feeling cynical, of feeling bitter and skeptical. Letting go of feeling like a victim, of feeling guarded and creating self-pity. I'm moving on from whatever keeps this old program alive. I'm no longer believing that life works against me. Now just take another deep breath. The universe has my back. I am supported and loved. I accept uncertainty as a natural part of life. I can embrace acceptable risk. I'm safe without expecting the worst. Even when I experience uncomfortable emotions, I bravely face challenges. I can do hard things. I'm capable of creating the best outcome. I can do what it takes to achieve the results I want. Universal energy supports and loves me. I deserve to create my best life. And that can only happen by focusing in a new direction. I follow my inner guidance. Okay, take another deep breath. You got this. We create our own reality. And even though we might not have a magic wand that we can tap and manifest whatever it is that we desire, when we pay attention to what we think about and how that makes us feel emotionally, that's the path that we're pre-paving to get us to our next moment. How it works is life is created for us in response to our emotional state. So if we have a very stressed out mind and a very stressed out body, because they're always interconnected, that's how we're approaching our next moment. So our attraction point becomes one of stress, which means we are in the environment to continue to attract more to stress about. But if, just like we did today, we work on unraveling those stressful thoughts and turning them into something that feels better, then that changes our attraction point to a new direction. And then we're in the environment to create more to feel relaxed and good about. So it's really worth our while to pay attention to where our mind is focused and pre-pave our way to the life that we actually want to live. So whenever you're feeling like you're caught up in that loop of thought that brings you into the direction of the worst case scenario, now you can stop yourself and become the observer. So I encourage you to keep doing as much tapping as you need to continually redirect your mind into the direction of what you want to create your best life. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to share it with a friend and continue to tap into your true self.